What's going on, guys? So today we're going to talk about the relationship between Dawson and Joey and why it was one of the most toxic romantic relationships you'll ever see on TV. So let's just get it started. First of all, we got to know who these people are. Dawson is a very cheery boy at the beginning of the show. A very cheery, happy guy. Coming from the other side of the creek, this guy has one of the best lives you could ever ask for. Only child, lives in a big home with his two parents who are together, not divorced. And he has the most movie posters you could ever ask for in your own house. Meanwhile, Joey is here with her mom dying of cancer, her dad cheated on her a lot and sold a lot of drugs, went to jail, and is being raised by her sister, who is pregnant with her boyfriend. That's the lifestyle she's living. But yeah, so at the beginning, they came together and they were great together. They were great friends. But then soon enough, they became something more. And all of a sudden, they started dating each other. And it was the whole shebang shaboom. It was great. However, over time, Joey just didn't want to be with Dawson. Right, she was dealing with the identity crisis. And she was dealing with the social penetration theory. This is where I bring in the social penetration theory, as she feels like she judged the relationship depending on the breadth and the depth. She felt like the relationship was not deep enough, and she was not giving him much information to Dawson, that she wasn't ready to be in a relationship first. She has to make herself happy.
But I have to make myself happy first. And that's probably the one thing in this whole world that you can't do for me.
So that was one of the reasons why they broke up the first time. They got together and she broke up, and she ended up getting with this other guy when she said she needed to fix herself. So yeah, anyways, then she broke up with that guy. They got back together, and then her dad came back, and
You dealing drugs again?
Dawson put the dad in jail, and Joey said she did not want to be with him anymore. She was done with him. She was done with him, right? So they broke up again, number 2. All right, now we're in the second reason why they weren't together. They weren't together because Dawson was in this weird state where he wanted to be with her. However, he was still reeling from the emotional pain from getting broken up by her twice, and the fact that he doesn't want her to be with anyone else. So he was in this place where she couldn't really do much. But eventually, over time, she started to develop feelings for his best friend, Pacey. And they were getting together, and that was a whole different thing. And eventually, Dawson realized that he had to let her go. This is where the cost-benefit theory comes in, where he looks at all the possible pros, and he realized that the pros outweigh the cons, so he'd rather have her as a friend than her being alienated from him. So he decided to let her go and be with Pacey.
I don't wanna wait for our lives to be over.
Then the last theory that's going to be used is standpoint theory. Right? So when Joey got with Pacey, they realized that their lives were going in 2 different paths. Pacey wasn't going to go to university, and Joey just wanted to have a great, stable job in a professional setting. So they realized that they weren't going to be together. So they broke up, and Joey and Dawson got together. And just right when they got together, literally school started. And Dawson was going to go to the LA film school, and and Joey was gonna go to Worthington and Boston. So they're gonna go in two different directions. And over time, they got together, broke up, and they got together and broke up again. And then they slept together. And then Joey realized that he was dating someone else whilst he was with her. That really broke Joey's heart. Right? This hurt Joey from the beginning. And Dawson didn't know what to do. And this is the standpoint there because from his life experiences, he realized that relationships could never be perfect. Right? From when he was 15 all the way to when they got to college, his parents, they were not together. Then they came back together, and then they divorced, and then came back together. So Dawson realized that relationships cannot be perfect. And that's why he probably held back on saying that he had someone so that he could have an amazing night with Joey. And after that, they weren't together ever again. So the moral of the story is the relationship between Dawson and Joey was definitely toxic, and romantically it was terrible. However, their friendship will still last for a long time. So at the end of the day, the relationship was toxic, and the constant on again, off again really just shows the unhealthy nature of this situation. And at the end of the day, that is why they never worked out.